Hello everyone, this is Carl with Truwl, and today I'm going to show you how to populate workflow inputs just by dragging and dropping in an inputs file that you already may have. And the example that I'm going to use today comes from the NTEX project. So that's a collaboration between ENCODE and GTEX. You can learn more about it on the ENCODE portal, where they probe 30 overlapping tissues from 4 donors, do a bunch of assays on the same tissues. So the run I'm going to do right now is attack-seq on human adrenal gland, and here's the identifier for it. And the inputs file for this was provided to me by Idan Gadbank at the Stanford ENCODE DCC, so thank you, Idan, for that. So I want to run, or at least populate, the inputs for this attack-seq workflow. So if I go to workflows and I find the ENCODE attack-seq pipeline, I can see information about it here. And another thing you can see is usage examples. So you can actually fork one of these and pre-populate the inputs from any of these examples. Or you can go up here and make a fork and get a blank instance of this, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to call this just NTEX example. Looks like I've used that before. And for the description, I'll say drag and drop demo and say done. So what I have here now is pretty much an empty set of fields. And I can populate that just by typing things in, but what I'm going to do rather is upload an inputs.json file that I already have. So it looks like this. Oops, we'll hit that one. I don't want to copy and paste all that over. But what I can do is hit upload here, find the file, drag and drop in. It says it looks good. Okay, we'll hit submit, and now these fields are populated. And I can do a couple of things from here. One thing I can just do is save it. And once the save is successful, I can go in here. Here is the workflow inputs that I just populated, and I can publish that. And what that does is shares it on the internet so other people can look at it and see it and maybe evaluate my work. Maybe I want someone to check my inputs, or maybe I just want to provide it so someone else can fork it for their own experiment. What I'm going to do is go back to it, and what you can do if you have the running permission on Truwl, which I do, is I can run it straight from here. So I'm going to hit run. It says the job has launched, and I get an email saying that the job is launched, and I can go to view job detail. Looks like it's submitted, and once it starts going, this will start getting populated, the metadata for the run, and I can also, should be right here on my jobs list. So once this goes, I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's finished. Okay, so my workflow finished, and it happened ridiculously fast because turns out one of my colleagues had already run this one, so it took advantage of some call caching and finished in minutes, where it usually takes much longer. So when you finish with a run, you can take a look at the metadata here. There's also a button where you can download that. If you want the inputs.json file back, you can download that as well. But since we uploaded up originally, that doesn't really help you much in this case. You have a couple options for getting your output files. So there's a command here, so you can copy them from the cloud to your local system. You can also just click on a link here, and it'll open up the bucket where it put those files. There's a lot of them here, and it's a little bit confusing to look through if you don't know where you're looking. We do put some top level files kind of directly in the run details here. So a good one to click on is the HTML report for that run, which gives you statistics. And something I want to do here is, since this is a rerun of an ENCODE or NTEX rather experiment, we can compare the metrics from that one to the one we ran to see if we're getting the right thing. So right here in this association graph, these little green circles actually give you metrics. So this one, I'm just going to copy it, and I should be getting that metrics in here as well. So fraction of reads in universal DHS regions. Looks like we get the same number there. That's the one we had there, so that's a good sign. You can open up these plots and compare as well. You don't have a number, so we'll have to do it by eyeball. Let's take a look at some of these other metrics, maybe on this IDR threshold. So FRIP score of peaks. See if I'm getting that metric here. Yep, there it is. So I'm pretty confident that we were able to faithfully reproduce this experiment. I'm going to close this out. You can download this from here as well, or get the raw qc.json that HTML is generated from. So a couple more things you can do. We mentioned sharing before, so if I were to go into this particular job, so here's an NTEX example. It says I have a successful job here. I aborted one earlier because a little mistake that I had. And if you were to choose to publish this so other people could see it, I think I'd want to publish just the one successful job. So what it publishes really is that project as a template. So something that's editable, and it's going to publish this one successful job. So one kind of locked set of parameters in there, and I could hit publish if I wanted to. I think we're going to publish all these NTEX ones together for the next week or so, so everyone can see a big set of NTEX runs to fork and be able to reproduce those experiments or do it with your own data. So the other thing with that is the inputs we used for that run are now locked in place and stored in that job. And we can use this input editor now. We could go in and change any of these values. You may want to change your probably input genomic data, put in new data and hit run, and that'll save that as another job. So this is kind of like a whole experiment that you can have a lot of jobs associated with, and this is where you can play with parameters and try different things. And I think that's all I want to share with you today. So thanks for watching, and hope this is helpful for you.